So, good morning, good afternoon, depends on your time zone. How are you? I hope you are doing well. Today, I will not design any board, any schematic. I will show you my most favorite KiCad keyboard shortcuts. So, I hope I will not forget some of them. There are not too many of them, but yeah, I have some notes, so I will go through them and I believe it will be fun. Anytime, get back to me. I will see your comments a little bit with some delay, but I think it won't be an issue. So let's start. I will start with from the schematic, and I think the most useful, or the first most useful, is horizontal mirroring. Let's say you want to mirror a symbol or the entire block. The standard keyboard shortcut is X, but I redefined it. I will show you where. You go to KiCad settings, hotkeys. There is mirror horizontally. I redefine it to Shift plus X. Why? Because when I'm working on the PCB layout or component placement, and I have open both windows for schematic editor and for PCB editor, sometimes this context is switched to the schematic editor, and I pressed X. Pressed X in the PCB editor starts routing, but in the schematic editor, it causes mirroring. And sometimes it happened multiple times, like more than twice. I accidentally mirrored the symbol, and when the symbol is, for instance, a polarized capacitor or something like this, yeah, maybe polarized capacitor is not a good example. A diode is a better example. So there were serial diode, and I accidentally switched it for mirroring. And after the nearest update PCB from the schematic, changed the circuit. So the prototype didn't work. Why? Because I accidentally pressed X. So I redefined it to Shift plus X. I recommend it to you as well. If not, it's up to you. So the first one is horizontal mirroring. How it works: select the block or a symbol and press Shift X or X in your case. So you mirror the entire block. It can be block of labels, it can be anything. So I use it frequently when I want to like refactor the schematic. So this is X-axis mirroring or horizontal mirroring. So yes, the next one will be his sister or its sister, its sibling. It's the vertical mirroring under the Y shortcut. Where I use it the most frequently, it's when I want to swap the labels. For instance, here is the GPIO16 for RGB and GPIO17 for RGB_power. And when in the phase of routing, and these two GPIOs are general GPIOs, so I can switch it. I can swap the labels, the signals, the nets between them, between the ports, because it doesn't matter where the PVR, the RGB_PVR is connected. I pressed Z or Z key, and it swapped two labels between each other. So, for instance, here when I want to switch between SDO and S clock, I pressed Z, and those two are swapped. So, yes, vertical mirroring, Z. We have two comments. Hello, Segun. You are using KiCad 7, but your 3D viewer isn't working. I can't help you from my place. My recommendation is install KiCad 9, which is the latest version. You are using more than 2 years old version. So install KiCad 9 and hopefully it will work. Yeah. Sorry for that. I think you should be using the newer operating system as well, but yeah, I understand that there can be some issues with your machine. So yeah, but hopefully I think KiCad 9 should work even on Windows 7. I don't know. I don't know. Back to the topic. Another KiCad shortcut is open datasheet. For every symbol I made, I can see that my symbol is not what I expect it to be. So I have to, oh, this is, yeah, please let me correct my symbol. I'm using symbol from the library, but it's not the correct symbol. I need to replace the symbol with my one. This is my symbol. Yes. I don't understand why this symbol is so different. Yeah, let me correct it, because I think it seems that my symbol isn't finished during the preparation. That's strange. Anyway, I will correct it later. Oh, this could happen. Anyway, this one is the symbol from the KiCad library. It should be the verified one. Accidentally, I'm going to talk about the D key shortcut, which opens the datasheet from the internet. So now here is our datasheet. We will use the split screen and we will check if the library symbol is correct. So yeah, by pressing D, for instance, I don't know, here is the datasheet for the capacitor. Probably the link isn't working anymore, but yeah, it happens with the old datasheets. So for instance, here should be working. Yeah, here is the datasheet for the ESD diode. So back to the RP2040. So let's check the symbol, and if it works, I just copy the library symbol into my symbol. So here is the pin reference. Doesn't work. So yeah, it seems until 18, then 27 to 25, 27, 38, 41. Yeah, this data sheet should be fine. 23, 148 USB, yes, ADC, USB VDD 48. That's what. Okay, this is power supply for the peripheral. Yeah, back to the pins. Crystal 2021, yes, test and 19, 24, 25, SWD, yeah, this run 26, the most important, one of the most important signals. 43, 44, okay, this symbol works. So I will open the, yeah, property window is just like, it's not favorite shortcut, it's a crucial shortcut. The KiCad doesn't work without the E, so E is properties for the symbol. I'm going to open the library symbol. This is the symbol, so I copied the symbol. Now I'm going to open my symbol, which is here in the exclamation point MCU. This is name of my library. So selecting the entire symbol and pasting my symbol, pasting the symbol from the library, from the KiCad library. Yeah. This should be fine. And now I'm going to change the symbol with my. Probably it will not fit the grid because I don't know where I put the symbol exactly. I tried to position it to the center of the, center of the symbol was in the center of the coordinates, but I don't know if I did it correctly. Yeah, there is a slight shift. Okay, so now my symbol is synchronized with the library. I don't know how it happened, but yeah, you can see that I'm not perfect. Nobody is. Let's go. So imagine you have, I will create here a few F space. So I didn't have to. Let's say you want to draw net here and you want to repeat it like 6 times or 6,000 times. So previously or before you know this shortcut, you have to draw separately line by line. You know that there is repeat last item shortcut. I don't know if this shortcut is defined defaultly. I redefined it to Command and I key, so it repeats the last action. So yeah, why KiCad knows or how to place the lines. What is the increment? Yeah, go to settings. Here is the editing options, and here is repeated items section here. And here is horizontal pitch and vertical pitch. The vertical pitch is the 100 mil of the distance. So you can redefine it. You can edit the horizontal pitch, so it can work even for horizontal items. Yeah, because now it wouldn't work. But if you define the horizontal pitch and then to change the vertical pitch to 0, it will go like sideways, not from top to bottom. So yeah, unfortunately it works only for drawing, not for deleting. So as you could see now, I can't repeat the delete of the net. So yeah, probably for good. Assign net class. I think this doesn't work anymore. Yeah, I think, yeah, assign net class. I used it before, but I stopped. So I will go over this. The fact is that KiCad changed the way how to assign the net classes. Now it's like when the net is has a label, go to label properties, press plus, here plus button. The first attribute to be added is net class, and then you can choose from the predefined net classes either in the PCB editor or in the schematic editors, in the schematic properties. So it's, for me, it's more convenient this way, because then I can show, I can make visible the name of the net class, I can edit it. Yeah, so I'm using this way. And now I will show you where to add the net classes. The first older way is from the PCB editor. Go to board setup, and here are net classes, and yeah, add new one. Simply as that. But I think for some time you can do that even in schematic editor. So go to schematic setup. Here is net classes, and the same, basically the same dialog. No, the same dialog. It's the simplified dialog. So yeah, you can edit the new net class here without going to the PCB editor. It's up to you. What's more? What do you like more? Rotation. Rotation, I don't know if I have to explain, like R shortcut, and you can rotate anything what you select with your mouse, with your cursor. Switch to fast grid. I don't use this function. There is a function of, but I think it's in global settings. Grids, yeah, here is the option 1 on my Mac, and option 2 grids. 50 mil grids is the standard, option 1. 52 is like for labels that should be placed in a more fine grid. Since I think KiCad 8, there is, or 9, I don't know, there is grid, I think 8, grid overrides. So it works like when you are placing, That's funny. That's funny because I'm talking for 25 minutes. Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, that's funny. So I will go from the start. Yeah, thank you. So back to basics. So shortly, the most useful or my most favorite keyboard shortcuts. X-axis mirroring or horizontal mirroring. By default, there is an X shortcut, and I redefined it to here in the settings, hotkeys X to Shift X, Y, because when I'm placing components or looking on PCB layout, I sometimes accidentally change the context to the schematic editor, and when pressing X to start routing in the PCB editor, I accidentally horizontally mirror to the symbol in the schematic without noticing. For resistors, it doesn't matter. For symbols, it doesn't matter. Aha, now I understand. So yeah, I know why it happened, because I pressed M or something. No, M in KiCad. Yeah, probably I switched. I don't know how to mute the mic in the StreamYard. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, so this stream will be like a really funny thing. So after rotation, I used the switch to fast grid, and I explained that I don't use it anymore because there is the new feature coming with KiCad 8, I think, or yeah, I think 8, grid overrides, where the symbols are placed in 50 mil in standard grid, but the labels, when the feature is enabled, but in much finer grid. When you are moving your symbol and pressing command on Mac or probably Control or Linux or Windows, you can then place it anywhere off grid. This is the danger. You placed the symbol off grid, and you can like connect the port. How to solve it? Go to the context menu, right mouse click, and align items to grid, and KiCad automatically moves it to the grid or place it to the grid. So this is what I said, and I continued in the PCB editor. I said that for this, I very frequently use like 100,000 times a day, fast changing grid. Grid 1, I used 1 mil grid for component placement and routing, and option 2 for grid 2, 0.5 millimeter for edge cuts like PCB shape, position of the connectors, and yeah, similar things, mounting holes. So by pressing option 1, I don't know what is the shortcut on Windows or Linux, is the like routing grid, and or on option 2, 0.5 millimeter for bigger things. Thank you again for telling me that I'm on mute. That's good. I'm happy I don't need to start over from like the beginning. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to continue with the auxiliary measure. Here, down on the bottom bar, there is the auxiliary scale, and you can reset it by pressing space. So when you, I don't know, you want, for instance, you want to measure how this polygon, what are dimensions of this polygon. So you need to zero the auxiliary coordinates here. So press space, and you can see that in the bottom there are 0, 0, and go to the opposite corner, and you can see that the dimension in X is 7 millimeter and in Y is 4.5, and even there is the distance, so the distance like through the shape, I don't know how to say it in English. So used very frequently when I want to measure the distance of two points, like I want to get the symbols or footprints in a symmetry or something. Yeah, you know, you name it. So auxiliary, like local coordinates or auxiliary coordinates by pressing space. Very, very smart thing. Move item, of course. M is the like rough movement without the design rules. D is dragging with like rerouting the routes, but frankly, between us, it doesn't work almost never. Like doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work. So what I do, I always remove the trace from the footprint and then move it, like even with the D, like this, and reroute the track. But when I change the trace, I will use D almost. Yeah, this is the default way how to drag the trace by D. This D tracking follows the rule of the 45 or 135 degrees corners. If you drag by G, next, like almost next to the D, you can drag in any angle. Sometimes I use it. Last time this morning, because I wanted to drag the track along special polygon, which its edge was not in 45 or 135 degree. So I drag this track along the polygon, and the angle was like some crazy 20 degree angle. So yes. Position relative to, this is my one of the most frequently used features. It means you have two objects like labels, footprints, group of footprints, PCB, boards, anything. So select it and press positioning tools. It's a Shift P, position relative to, and then you can set the distance, for instance, 5 millimeters from this via, and 5 millimeter. When the distance is positive, it means it's going to the right. When it's positive in Y, it's going downward, and when it's negative, it's like the opposite direction. So it means we want to place it 5 millimeters to the right and 2 millimeters to the bottom, downward. But you have to select the item which is the like 0 coordinate. So select the number 1, and you have here. Do you want to verify? Okay, fast switching to 0.5 millimeter. Resetting. Yeah, the resetting is not possible for measurement because we are not on the 0.5 millimeter grid. But anyway, I can reset it anyway, and you can see that the position in the via is the same because both vias are like slightly off the grid, but the same way. And you can see 5 and 2 in the auxiliary measure. So yeah, it works. When I want to move absolutely, it's not Shift P. Shift P is relatively. Shift M is absolutely. So move item, it moves like 5 millimeter back. -5 is here, and when I set now -2, these two vias would be on like stacked. I don't want to, so 1.5 and like this. Yeah, another shortcut is create from selection. So I selected these two vias, like the group of, it's not a group, it's a like, yeah, two vias next to each other. And it's a Command T, or I will show you, it's a right click, create from selection and create array, Command T in my case. And let's say you want to create an array 3 times 3 of this, not one via, but two like strangely close together vias. So 3 by 3. What's most important thing, you had to set grid position here. I don't know why, but the default position is that this will stay in the center, and the 3 times 3 will be like, yeah, in the center of the group. But I don't know, but my brain works differently. I want this object to be on the, usually on the top left edge, top left corner, and then I want to grow the array to the right and to the bottom. So you have to check this source items remain in place. And here is the horizontal spacing, vertical spacing. You can set anything you want. And here is your grid. If, yeah, you can say here was our initial object and 3 and 3. If I kept the default setup to center on source items, it will work like this. This will be in the center and other objects will be around. I'm using the way when the source items remain in place. You can then use it like a circular array, but in version 9 of KiCad, there are 2 new really helpful buttons. You can select item or select point. In the previous version, you had to enter manually the coordinate. So change select item. This will be our source item. Yeah, these are the absolute coordinates. And I want to place like 9 items. Angle between items will be. I think when I enter the item count, the angle will be automatically calculated. So let's try it. Yes, but I am too close to the source object. How to move them far from the... Aha, I know. I selected this this item, but this is the source item. When I rotate it, it's not visible. So when I select this point, yeah, this is like new center of the, yeah. Sometimes I use it when I place the vias around the mounting hole, but as you could see, I'm not very skilled when using this feature, so I always have to try how it works, and then when I find a way, yeah, I will continue. I would continue. Next, grid, very useful. A very useful keyboard shortcut. It's a key N, like natural N, and it means that from the current grid setup it goes downwards, like from 0.5 millimeter to quarter, 0.2, 0.1, etc. When you press the shift, and when you are holding shift and pressing N, it goes upward. So sometimes I use it, for instance, when I'm routing. My routing grid is 1 mil, but when I'm drawing polygons, I sometimes use the 5 grid 5 grid, 5 mil grid. So holding Shift and pressing N, this is 2 mil and 5 mil. So twice N, I'm on 5 mil grid. So very, very fast change of the grid. But you have to always check the grid when you continue like routing or drawing edges, because KiCad remembers the last chosen grid. Next, track width, the similar to this one, but with the shortcut key number, shortcut key W. You going through the array of predefined thicknesses, where to define or the predefined thicknesses. Go to board setup, file, go to board setup. Here is the predefined sizes, and you can see I have entered 4 sizes, and when I'm pressing W, I'm going through this array. When I'm holding Shift and pressing or hitting W, I'm going like in the opposite direction through that array. Yeah, I'm thinking what next. Definitely sometimes, not sometimes, pretty frequently, I'm using the H shortcut, which is the inactive layer display. This is the normal. You can see every layer which is enabled. When I press once, it's dimmed. So it means only the active layer is visible and the other layers are like dimmed. You can see them, but they are slightly visible. The transparency is like 90% or maybe more. And the third option is hidden. So you really see only the active layer. It's very useful. I'm using most frequently the dimmed version. For instance, when I'm placing labels or reference designators in the select screen. So I enable this mode. I can see where are footprints. So I can see that, for instance, this label can't be placed across the footprint, but I can see the details. I can see the picture. So then I can comfortably place the label or reference designator. So H, show richness. I think it's by default, it's not, there are not assigned shortcut to this, but I'm using very frequently. When placing components, I sometimes disable showing richness, because for rather complex board, there are only the airlines, like the white thin lines connecting the footprints, and it's like annoying and disturbing, more than annoying, disturbing. So I sometimes switch off the richness. My setup is Command-Shift-R, but you can define your own. There is another new, I think, coming with KiCad number 8, richness mode. Today, accidentally, I checked this, but I don't think it works. It should switch the richness between the active layer. So it means that you can enable only richness on like top layer, and the bottom layer items should be hidden. But I don't know how it works. For me, it doesn't work. I think it doesn't work for me. Maybe I can't. I don't know how to use it. I don't know. Back to shortcuts. Let me go through my notes. Toggle layer. It's V. There is a dialog. Copper layer pair. By default, it is front, like top and bottom. And when pressing V, like victory, you are you can see here in the layer selector, you are switching between top and bottom. When you, for instance, when we are routing the multi-layer board like 6, 8, 10 or more, and you are working on inner layers, and you have like in layers adjacent to the reference plane, but yeah, you want to use, for instance, buried vias, and you want to switch between the inner layers. You can define another pair, and then you will switch between these newly defined layers in a pair. So another useful layer, I think, yeah, for fast switching when routing, I'm using it very frequently from top to bottom, usually. Corner style, yeah, corner style. Corner style, I use it like once in a few projects, frankly, because almost always I use the default corner style, which is 100 or 45 degree, they say. You can go here in this area when the X like routing command is active. You can see that here is the 45 degree corner style 45 degree. On my Mac, when I press command and slash, I'm changing like 45 degrees rounded, 90 degree rounded, and back to 45 degree. So sometimes, for instance, here by accident, you can see in the bottom layer, I used like rounded corners for these two or maybe three traces. So corner style, in my case, command slash, and we can check the how the function is called. It's called track corner mode. Command slash is my case. Another useful keyboard shortcut is F1, which is add corner to the polygon. So see, once I press F1, I added the corner to the edge, the nearest edge to the cursor. By default, the opposite thing, like remove corner, isn't defined, but I did, and I use shift to F1. So F1 is adding corner, and shift F1 is removing. So it's very, very useful when I edit my polygons, and for instance, I want to change the shape. So just by pressing or holding shift and pressing F1, I easily remove all the extra corners. It's very, very fast. You can do it from the contextual menu, like you can see here, create corner, or here when the corner is active, like remove corner. But it's very, very like, I don't know, it takes quite a lot of time by pressing right mouse key and choosing from the menu. So F1 and shift F1. What else? I don't know. Probably it's all I know about my shortcuts. Yeah, sometimes I used shift command T for when placing reference designators. No, not designators, labels. It's a text, enter text. So in my case, shift command T, but I don't think you have to remember this. Yeah, thank you. yeah, anything can be improved. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, so let's use this. So anyway, no comments. So now I'm checking the keycaster as Michelle recommended. Okay, keycaster. Okay, so how it works. Accessibility. Keycaster. Yeah, there is a Yeah, the mouse click is working. Yeah, there is display mode, command keys only. I can show you. Command keys only, or modified keys, or all keys. So I'm trying to all keys in KiCad. And when I want to it works, but only on default display, and I'm on the second display. So it means I should work on the first, on the default display to show you the shortcut. So this works, but not as expected. Maybe next time I will try to switch the displays, but the fact is that the display when I'm now displaying the KiCad is the bigger one, and on the smaller one the work wouldn't be so comfortable. So anyway, thank you for recommendations with the caster. It can work, but yeah, sometimes the world is not ideal. So no other comments. So I'm sorry for the glitch with the muting myself in the middle of the show, in the stream, not show. Show looks differently. So yeah, next time I will design something, I think, again. This live stream with keyboard shortcuts, yeah, with keyboard shortcuts, was a reaction to a comment on LinkedIn the other day. So I decided to dedicate the entire stream to that. But next time I will be back at designing. So I will wait like 2 more minutes before I conclude the session. So if you have any question, anything, drop a comment and I will give you my time. Yeah, one thing, I got a comment to this board that the capacitor C8 is not correctly placed, which is true. Probably it will get mixed with the battery, with the plugged battery. So I said to myself that I can now edit the yeah, I can't. There is the shape of the cell, so just invisible in those drawings. Yeah, definitely here is here is a conflict. So it can go. It's a decoupling capacitor for the LED. Here is the power entry trace. Here is the, yeah. It will be placed like here, not a great position for the decoupling capacitor, but yeah, other place is occupied already. Any other place. So I will make a quick fix for this.
For unlimited listening, head over to brain.fm or follow the link in the description below.
I don't like it. I have to. Here will be a better position for that. Something like this. Not ideal, not beautiful, but working. Okay, no new comment, no nothing. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being with me. Yes, and see you next time.